Hey, Tej here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Bitcoin. I'll cover wave analysis with Elliott Wave theory and provide multiple scenarios the price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting here on 4-hour time frame, and today we're going to be focusing on 3 different counts here, which again are the main ideas that I have for this structure starting from the lows of June 18th. Since then, again, this is one of them, saying that we have had this as a 3-way into A, 3-way into B, and 5-wave into C, creating this as a wave A of something. Again, why A is just because of my preference on a higher time frame, where I'm expecting some kind of 3-way structure bringing the price up at some point. At this moment, after the A wave was put in place, I've labeled this as 3 waves into W, 3 waves into X, which is still ongoing, and then again expecting a 3-way structure downwards, unless again we are getting the 90% retracement for a possible A, B, and C, creating a flat pattern. At this point again, my expectations are still that this is going to be an X wave, but we'll see how that turns out. Again, for the wave Y to be completed in that X wave, I've labeled this as an ABC. We'll go into this smaller time frame later on this video. Then we have a very similar count to that. In this one again, we have the A wave labeled here, but instead of having this as the end of that ABC, we've labeled this as an AB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a bit controversial, this wave 3 here, and the fact that we have a lower low here put in place inside a diagonal. But again, we've talked about that many times before, so I'm not going to get into that right now. The idea is that we've ended the count at these lows for that wave B, creating this larger A, B, and then now we would be expecting a 5-way structure of the lows. Again, at the moment, this looks more like a ABC structure going upwards, so that's why I do prefer the diagonal possibility here, creating a 1, 2, 3, or a B, and C, like so. And then we would be having a 3-way structure downwards once this wave 1 is done. Of course, the invalidation for this would be these lows to be broken around 17.9k. Then a bit of alteration between this again is, instead of A wave being at these highs, we would shift it over here at these very highs and create this as a ending diagonal into that C wave. Having another diagonal here downwards, where we would have a double zigzag going into wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, and 5 into an A wave. Again, this is more bearish view on the market. However, again, we have the possibility of having this as that as a option. So there is again still a possibility that this is right. So we need to be looking into this as well. The wave B here is currently around almost to the 0.5 retracement of this original A wave here. And again, the expectation here is a 3-way move, as it is looking like one at the moment. We'll look into this structure next, but overall expectation is that instead of this being a end of something, like on the previous count, we had this as a start of something, creating a connector wave in the middle, and then dumping down for that C wave to complete the B wave before again rising up for that C wave here. Now let's dive into a bit more local time frame, into 1-hour time frame. And this weekend has been very sideways again, as expected. Not much of a pump and dump like we had on the previous week here. So this is the expectation. On the most of the counts here that I had was saying that we had this as an AB and looking for that C. In internal wave structures, I've labeled this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into third, fourth, and possibly fifth here. I don't really like this being a 5-way structure, so it is possible that instead of third being here, the third would actually be at this high here, and the fifth would be in this high instead. So we would be creating a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 completed up in here. At that point again, we would still have these divergence that we have here, and we don't need to be expecting a 5-way structure in here. Instead, we could be looking for this as a expanded structure. However, that does not fit into the idea that we had for a diagonal of the lows, where we would have this as an A, B, and C, because again, on diagonals, if this was to be a wave 1, we can't have a expanded structures here. So yeah, that's the main idea here. One of those twos, we're looking to create some kind of topping pattern in here before reverting down. Then today, Momo on Discord mentioned that he had this as a possibility as well, so I wanted to share this with you as well. In this, again, a possible AB here, and instead of having this as a fifth wave or five-way structure, we would have this as a double zigzag coming up into the highs and having a diagonal in here. It is still possible that this would be the case. Again, it would be a bit ugly, but sometimes these do end up being very ugly. And in here, again, I think the best look would be a double zigzag into that way too. And here it is possible. I feel like it could be just a normal zigzag. And here again, after that one, wave 4 being some kind of zigzag as well. We'll see how that turns out. But again, the expectation here is to take out the current high that we have here for that third, or meaning, for the fifth, taking out the highs of third and then plummeting down. Again, it would be very normal for RSI to create divergence again on that fifth against that third. So that is the expectation here with this count again. So this area definitely would be a very interesting area to look for shorts if you're not in one already. At the moment, this pullback has not really looked like it is very impulsive. Sure, we've had a somewhat impulsive looking structure here, but again, we can't really get too well or too good looking wave count down here. We don't have any divergence at the 2 minute at least into these lows. So I feel like this definitely could be said that it could be some kind of a zigzag pattern or double zigzag anyway, and this would be just a partial connector wave in it. We had a high here on RSI, so it could be that we have a three-way structure here connecting this structure over to the next downwards, but again, not quite sure of that yet, as this structure has not formed in yet. So that is just one expectation and one possibility how this market could behave. Now, again, the fifth here, if we are doing something like I've labeled here, could be taking place in the 2nd of November. Of course, this could be dragging out later on or before this as well. But again, I think the 2nd of November had the FOMC meeting, so this would be lining up pretty well for that, and then we would be creating a massive dump afterwards. We'll see if that comes to true or not, but it's just one possibility among others. But I feel like that is pretty much the scenarios on Bitcoin at the moment. I'm still on short. I took a short here on these highs, and once we pulled back, creating this SFP, I got in on a short. I'm still long on Bitcoin as well. From where did I long? I can't remember. It was these. It was these highs. Sorry, lows here. That I was expecting, or explaining on the previous video, that I got stopped out on this original low here, but I re-entered here. So that is still going on my long. But we'll see how that turns out. Again, nothing is for sure. But yeah, that is pretty much the game plan for the early next week. We'll see how that turns out. But if you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you next video. Goodbye.